so tired of micromanaging. How do I train, manage, and lead? I can't find time to be visionary. Head down in the weeds.
All right, here we go. We are top of the hour. I am so excited about today's conversation. So just let me real quick, we're going to honor our time today. We're talking about why your best candidates ghost you and what to do about it. No suffering in silence. If you have questions along the way, put them in the chat publicly. I want to honor our time together. This is a massive topic. I did a presentation at the ALA. I knew this was a great pain in businesses across the field, but I had no idea how devastational it is. So we're starting with the most painful one right now. If you are anywhere in hiring or replacing in your law firm, why candidates are ghosting you and what to do about it. In my experience, this is not because people are playing games. People are not doing the negotiation game. It's not that they're reading your job descriptions and realizing that they're not qualified. I really want to invite you today to burn the boats on any type of mindset where it is what it is, that people suck, that candidates are not serious, that they're playing games, and really remove any of that victim mentality. My goal today is for us to pull up our bootstraps as legal leaders. And when we are trying to scale, elevate, delegate, and be able to build a team of rockstar candidates, let's get tunnel vision and burn the boats on any stories that we've heard in the past. I'm going to share with you what to do about it. And my greatest wish is you have a mindset shift today. The naming convention of my business says it all. Hiring and empowering your people to step up and lead. So in this series, we're going to start off with this one about why people are ghosting you. Here is my invitation for everyone. Hiring no longer is just a task. The saying is the same that you treat PNCs, prospective new clients. Time kills all deals. And this happens with candidates as well. When people ghost you or people stop responding or people bow out of any system, whether it be with leads, whether it be with referral sources or hiring, and adding people in the term that people resonate with is ghosting, is because we have to put the ownership on ourselves as the owners, operators, leaders, that we are not leading this entire process. We are being responsive. We're treating it like a task, and we're not treating it with the same level of care that we do with a prospective new client. And so I see entrepreneurs and law firm owners on top of their client services intake team in regards to following up with leads. The phone will make you rich, and this could not be even truer for hiring and staffing in this day and age. Every single day that your role sits open and is not active, right? We have to treat this with very, very active vigor, that we don't just throw an ad out there and hope and pray. If it sits open, your best candidates are being interviewed by your competitors. In the legal space, the unemployment rate for attorneys is 1.2%. Even when it comes to just a receptionist or an intake or a client service coordinator or an account manager, in 30 years, I've never seen anything like this, but accepting it and calling it is what it is. Remember my invitation at the beginning of this. We're all going to shift our mindset on this, but they're being interviewed by your competitor because staffing and hiring is very much strategic. So the way that you would mind them, find them, grind them for leads, mind them, find them, grind them for getting you on other people's platforms for speaking engagement, podcasts, what have you, your marketing people, your intake people, your sales people is the exact same way we want to approach this when it comes to hiring. Here, in my opinion, are the 5 moments that candidates disappear and what is actually happening at every single stage. So maybe you're lucky enough to have people apply. So back in the olden days, you'd throw an ad up there and you would just be inundated with resumes. You'd have to pause the ad or shut the ad off because you had 100 resumes within 48 hours, 24 hours a week, whatever it might be. And then you had to sift through them to see who's unqualified, to see who's qualified, what have you. That volume no longer exists. So even if you have the most amazing job description, and we're going to talk about that in part 2 next week, of exactly what we do in our recruitment business to attract candidates. But the moment they disappear is that the applicant does not hear back within 48 hours max. I will tell you anymore that you really have to respond immediately. So if you are the attorney or the owner or you're wearing multiple hats, you have to carve out time intentionally every single day at a minimum, an hour a day. And I'm going to give you the process of what you're doing in that hour, but you have to be looking at the resumes. If somebody even looks intriguing to you, you've got to text them. Get off the platform as quick as possible. Time kills all deals, number 1. Number 2, you want to be disruptive. Most people are so lazy, especially if you're using a staffing agency or recruitment agency or what have you. And I could tell you, this is where we knock the snot out of most of our competition, is because we will text people and we will send an incredibly disruptive text that is not canned. Now, say you get 10 resumes that came in today, you can copy and paste the same text and use that over and over again. Just make sure you change their name and things of that nature, but you want to reply as quick as possible. Your number 1 goal is to respond when the applicant comes in, and as quick as possible, get engagement, just like with the lead, just like with anything. You want to get engagement. Your message that you send to them has to be enticing, where it doesn't show up like every other recruiter's message. So most of them are lazy and have a canned response. Most of them are leaning on AI anymore. And we hear from candidates over and over again that they chose to engage with us because our text was real. They knew it wasn't automated. They knew it wasn't coming from AI, and that we responded in a way that made it easier for them, because any rock star is gainfully employed. If they are applying for a position and they are unemployed, their reason better be incredibly compelling as to why they got transitioned to your area, and or the law firm they're currently work for just completely combusted and closed down, whatever it is. But you immediately reply to them immediately, not canned, not AI, and not an autoresponder that comes from the recruitment platforms. And then as quick as possible, you get on a phone screen with them. So my texts are incredibly personal, and I want to get them to the phone screen. I don't even call it an interview. Hey, Susie, thanks for replying. Real quick, your resume looks amazing. Do you have 10 minutes to do a phone chat, even if during your drive time, after hours, in the morning, whatever works for you? I'd just like to conduct a meet and greet, share some details about the position so I don't waste your time. You're making it about them. You're speaking into their listening in a way that makes a difference for who? Them. They don't need your stinking job. And I'm speaking to myself when it comes to hiring. The rules apply to me too. So you want to get to a phone screen as quick as possible. I'm giving you some really great questions to go back and ask them about their process. How long do they respond? What is their disruptive messaging to get to people? Do they do a phone screen first and foremost to make sure that we're in alignment with that? I can't tell you how many people that they keep losing candidates because they believe in old school mentality, which is number 1, to schedule and then a next interview. They pass a phone screen, then we get them immediately. We do not hang up. Time kills all deals. And vicious recruiters are going to, if they make it easier on them, if they make it more on track, this is why people ghost. They're not playing games. So you have to schedule that next interview. If you're delegating this to a team member, they better have your schedule, and they better dang well have some level of permission to schedule over anything, especially if you have a really hard position for an attorney, paralegal, or what have you. Everybody up front has to be geared up for interviews in evenings, early morning, or weekends. This is not banker hours anymore. This at all, because they're gainfully employed and they have integrity. And if they have integrity, they are not taking an interview while they are working. So this morning I did about 3 phone interviews before 6 a.m. my time for people that are on the East Coast. I'm in Mountain Time in Colorado. It's worth it for me to do a phone interview while I'm doing my makeup, while I'm driving home from my yoga class, because in that 5 to 10 minutes, they will tell me everything that would not waste my time. And it's going to tell me if they're a rock star, of where I'm going to trump other areas of my time to get them so I can keep them engaged. Guys, this happened today. We had a very difficult position that we have been placing for an attorney with a specific skill set in a practice area. And we give the attorney a sample offer letter in there, including all the details that they need to do. They made it their own. It's very vague. No start time, no end time. In the ads, in the interviews, we talked about incentive-based compensation plan and a bonus plan. Nowhere in the offer letter. And not only that, but they lowballed the client after we told them repeatedly that they need to pay them $5,000 over what they're asking, because other shark-infested recruiters and law firms are coming after them. So your offer letter, this is not the time to play games. This is not the time to try to negotiate at the 11th hour. You have to be incredibly clear. And my recommendation is you get clear on that offer letter, on your bonus structures and everything now, before it comes time for making an offer to a candidate. That has to be clear. So your offer letters need to be written just as precise as your ads to attract people. You're still in the dating period. So if you go back and audit your offer letters and seeing, or go back and audit where you have previously lost people at this, when it comes time for offer letter, I say before you start working on that offer letter and pouring your heart and soul into it, or trying to make it a Nobel Peace Prize winning, law review article or what have you, pick up the phone and congratulate the person. Other people are not doing that. Hey, Molly, I really loved everything. We are at the point where we'd like to make you an offer. Just want to confirm, you want $150,000 base salary. It's 1,800 requirements. I understand you have to give a month's notice, because it communicates that you have all the things you put in your ad: family first, work-life balance, all the things. Walk your talk in the beginning, up front and center with these people. I can't tell you how many people have said to us, I took it because the attorney took their time to make a phone call to me, of course, send a text real quick, and then congratulated me, confirmed all the details with me. And then when they sent me the offer letter, by the time they promised to, another thing, so often I'll say, I'll get it to you by end of day Tuesday. And then we have candidates calling us Wednesday. We have them calling us Thursday, which I'm like, gosh, I would have disappeared even before that. And like, I have 3 other job offers on the table, but I really, really, really want that position with this firm because of everything they communicated. But then eventually they're like, I'm sorry, but how you do one thing's how you do everything. So they promised me they would do X by this day, and they're not doing it. They're interviewing you just as much. They're not playing games. They are interviewing you from the place of how much do you keep your word? And then lastly, the moment that we see candidates is day 1 of no-show. I cannot tell you how many times we've seen that, or we get a text on Saturday or Friday or Sunday before the day they're supposed to start, and a better offer came in between the signing and the starting. So because there's too much time between that. What do I mean about that? The offer letter says, and I have a few of these out there that I really encourage the law firms not to do, but their start dates are not until July 1st, and the offer comes in on June 1st because you have to get cash flow going because of all these things. No, When it comes day one for people, you want to keep enticing them and dating them and telling them what to expect on day one. Now you have to be authentic, right? But when it gets to day one of no show, we don't send an offer letter and then we just expect them to show up June 9th. No, what have we done? Did we send them a welcome basket, or what is part of our onboarding process to get people here? Did they have a pre-meeting with either the recruiter or with the law firm or what have you on what to expect on day one? If their start date's on Monday, what happened on Thursday and or Friday before their start date? What communication did they have? We're still in the dating period. We haven't even made it to the honeymoon period here. So the candidate experience audit is for you to really look at what is your firm doing currently. Are you posting and praying? I'm going to get into in part 2 what we do in our process. Posting jobs anymore do not just work. You have to post a job because all your poaching and outsourcing and recruitment efforts have to point to a job, right? So, take Indeed, for example. Indeed has been in business for 24 years now. And the beautiful thing about that is their algorithm is outdated. They're not putting a tremendous amount of energy in it. So every resume that ever existed on Indeed still sits in what they have identified as their resume bank. And so you don't want to just post an ad and or have this as a task for somebody to do in between client meetings and other job descriptions where they're going in and doing some type of sourcing. Sourcing is what it's called in the recruitment world. So you post your job, but you also have to have active mining attached to this. Paying for the Indeed resume base, as a quick tip here, is the best money that you will spend if somebody is mining it every single day. I'll give you an example. Talking about the text, getting off the platform as quick as possible. We're hiring for a CEO position in a law firm. They want EOS experience. They also want certain criteria for this position. Found a candidate in the resume database. I texted them. I didn't even go through the Indeed resume inboxing, none of that. Because there's so much AI, there's so much spam, there's so many lazy recruiters out there. I pulled it up, got his cell phone, literally sent him a text and used my very unique disruptive language in there. And he replied immediately. And we hopped on a phone call quickly. And he said before I could ask him the question, because typically I ask the question, why are you talking to me? What made you respond to us? You're very sought after. You have a very impressive CV and background or what have you. And his number one word was because you weren't lazy. He said, I'm not looking for a job. Remember, people are not ghosting you because they're playing games. They're gainfully employed and have multiple opportunities on their plate, on their desk, in their email, in their texts, in their DMs, what have you. And he said to me, you caught me on the perfect day. I'm sitting here at a PI conference. I'm traveling back or what have you. I've done everything to grow this law firm from $5 million to $12 million or what have you. But the straw that just broke the camel back is a scathing email that came from the attorney that just destroyed the entire team that I spent 18 months building. So you really want to make certain that you're consistently inboxing people, just like your meta ads, just like your messaging, where you're catching people at the perfect time in the depths of their pain. And you are giving them hope and an opportunity. So posting and praying is really why your firms are not working and why it's contributing to the ghosting. Taking 7 days to even schedule any type of screenings, phone interviews, video interviews, those days are over. If you are the attorney and you are the bottleneck, work with the recruitment team, get somebody on your team who is invested in this. Again, next week, I'm going to walk you through our process. Get somebody on your team here next week. I'm going to give them exactly what we charge in our recruitment contracts. That is try, test, and improvement. So if you're the bottleneck and you're leading this process, you really have to make certain that you are collapsing time, condensing time, and engaging with people as quick as possible. No more generic offer letters without urgency in them. You're still dating them in this period. You better have your ducks in a row. You're clear on start times and stop times. You're clear on the definition of hybrid. You're clear on the definition of remote. You're clear on the billable hours. You are clear on the onboarding process. You are clear on when benefits kick in. A lot of people will write offer letters and they're like, well, that's all in our employee handbook. No, you know this. Most people don't read the employee handbook. Maybe they sign it, don't read it, but the offer letter is for you to be clear, concise, well communicated, and upfront and attractive. One of the things that we have is we do employee growth plans. We do reviews every quarterly versus annually like other firms. You have to put disruptive language in there to reaffirm them because they might be having a side-by-side comparison of your offer letter and another firm's offer letter. And even if this is more money, subconsciously, psychologically, long term, the wording in your offer letter is going to seal the deal for them to choose you. So it cannot be generic, cannot be vague, and it has some level of still sales. Recruitment and staffing is sales. And then again, no communication between offer and start date and competing on salary only. So what winning firms are doing, they're proactive in their outreach within 24 hours. I say no more than 48 hours. They are getting people to screen and schedule within 48 hours of the application and or when they cold outreach, when they go into the resume database, when they're poaching people, especially when you're poaching, especially when you're going to after passive candidates. Time kills all deals. I'm going to say this 900 times. Compelling personalized offers with a deadline. My recommendation is you invest in marketing and graphic design in regards to that as well. Attach that with your offer letter so the person can feel. Most people, when we talk to them, there's a lack of onboarding. I will have candidates who will ghost me and or not come back because I'm not getting a response from the law firm. And like, can we check in again? The thing I cannot get out of my head is what you told me during that interview about the onboarding. I'm in this law firm right now. It's day 2 and there's no onboarding. It is an amateur hour over here. And winning firms understand they are competing on culture. They are competing on clarity. I cannot stress this enough. Who their supervisors are, who they're reporting to, what it's going to look like on day 1, what the requirements are, and a growth plan. They're painting that picture during the dating period because that's exactly what it is. There's so much competition in this day and age. I'm like, yeah, but the phone will make you rich. If you get out of all this love for automations and AI and what have you, and give a bonus to your client service coordinator, pick up the frickin' phone, like you'll win all day long, regardless if you're the most expensive in town. So the 3 scripts that keep candidates engaged, the 48-hour touch point. What to say immediately after applicant, poaching, passive candidates to signal speed. Most law firms are operating from outdated systems. And so if you can communicate that we are serious, that we are engaged, and we are not going to waste your time, candidate, you immediately have them hooked. Staffing, hiring is sales. And then how to present an offer in a way that creates excitement, that creates urgency without pressure. Here's a tip. Do not send an offer letter on Fridays. That's rule number 1 in recruitment. I don't know why. The common denominator we feel is that over the weekends, they're talking to their friends, they're talking to their family, they're at happy hour, they're sharing their excitement about this, and then everybody else, the committee, has to chirp in. I like to send them on Mondays or Tuesday because it's during the work week and they really want to check something off their box. Now, of course, we've done our due diligence everywhere in the interviewing, the screening, and the assessments and all that. But just a rule of thumb is no offer letters on Friday. And then the 1-day bridge message to check in on sequence between sign offer to the first day. That's what kills ghosting before it even starts. So my wish, and by now you've already eliminated all this defer and deflect, got to wait for the attorney's calendar, got to see when, like, there's no more calendar gymnastics. So you're collapsing time, you're holding the narrative, and you're keeping them engaged right from the minute that they enter your engagement, either by application, by poaching, by going after passive candidates, or having second guessing because of the experience they are having with other recruitment agencies, other businesses, what have you, since the time they signed that offer. So again, hiring is 100% sales. Firms that are winning in 2026 and beyond treat every candidate like a prospect. They move with urgency. They talk and communicate with disruptive language. They communicate with inclusion, of bringing you in here into the place of closing the deal. People are not playing games. So today I really want to give you an audit to walk away. Really do an audit of your candidate experience. Thinking about the last people that you lost for whatever reason, you were excited about this resume. It had so much potential. From the phone interview, if you have that as part of your process, or the interview that you have, and we lost a person after the offer letter, take stock of where you lost people and identify the exact moment that you're losing people. This will give you clues everywhere. Do an audit on your response time benchmarks, yours, a recruiter that you're working with, and or internal, if you have an internal team member, HR, that's working on this. And really make sure that we are collapsing time. And the good news for you all here today, most firms, most businesses are operating from outdated systems. I still have law firms that will, when somebody, they'll have embedded in these ads, reply with a cover letter. If they don't reply with the cover letter, they're rejected, and they have a story in their head that they don't know how to follow instructions. Anymore, there's this thing called a smartphone. And anymore, there's AI. Many of these recruitment and talent acquisition platforms are very much highly motivated so they can get as many people in the ecosystem. So when your job ads pop up, if they are even apply, there's a thing on their phone called one-click apply. They're not reading the ad, right? And people say, well, isn't that a red flag? No, not yet. Not yet in that regard, because they're clicking on it and your response is everything. They're like, this looks interesting. They don't realize that's still toggled. Here's the thing about the phone. I always make a phone call and send a text and say, I just left you a voicemail, because most people don't listen to their voicemail anymore. Some people that get voicemail, they'll get a text automation anyway. So voicemail, and then send them a text follow up in regards to that. Because then when you talk to them after that 5-minute interview, they like how this feels. It's all energy. They like the vibe of this. They don't feel like it's a Spanish Inquisition in a 5-minute phone call, that they feel like it's very collaborative. They can't pinpoint it. It's just the energy of it. And this is our person. They will fit with our culture. And they're saying, wow, this is something I'm experiencing different that I've never experienced in this quote unquote interview process. So then they're going to say to you, tell me again, what was this firm? I'll hear this all the time. What was this firm again? And what did I apply for? What was the position? Okay, great. I'm going to go back and look at that. Or sometimes I'll say, let me do you a favor. Let me just email you right now the job ad and the job description and the law firm website. Please make sure you check out their video resources and their YouTube video. You're really going to be impressed. You're selling. And I'm going to talk about this next week of what we do to pre-sell people in the ad placement. Before you get to interview, they start looking at your social media, what have you. It's dead. It's flat. It has no presence. This is a candidate experience. So the message that you're sending to them is that we're not serious about growth in here. We don't invest. And the story that I hear from law firms every single day, well, we don't have to do that because we get all of our business by referrals. No, you still need to do this the way you're attracting an ideal client. Because guess what? If your referrals are sending them to your website too, you only know about the ones that make it to you, but they may be giving them 2 other people, 3 other people, or what have you. You know the drill. So part of the candidate experience audit I want to offer here outside of the tool is really doing audit on your visibility anymore. Many of you are hiring these marketing agencies, these consultants, these coaches, these Google AdWord people, whatever it might be, an exercise person, buying clothes off of Instagram, whatever it might be, because of the digital and social presence. Think about it. In no time, the majority of them are not going to pick up. They're working, but your message is going to be at the top for them. Just like when your team members follow up with PNCs or old leads or dead leads or what have you. They get frustrated. I hit voicemail, I hit voicemail, I hit voicemail. This is a waste of time. No, it's the messaging, number one, but also number two is that you're showing up in the top of their box and you want it to be disruptive, engaging, enticing, and make it easy on them, not sending them to 10 million different hoops to go through. And then lastly, your engagement scripts, and really do an audit with this. My invitation is you do this between this week and next week's series and go through this with your team. If you do not have a team member on your team, enroll somebody on your team, your client service coordinator, somebody who's sitting in that pod squatter department. Heck, in this day and age, you get a virtual assistant overseas that has experience in sourcing. You want to make sure they have sourcing, poaching, and in addition to building lists. There's no more excuses anymore. If you are an attorney that is doing your own hiring, or you're an HR manager, which I talk to them every single day, that is responsible for recruitment and staffing in your law firm, and you have some level of story in your head, we're going to get into pay and all the things of what that takes. But I really want you to do this audit and look at what top performing law firms are doing. It's not that hard anymore, gang. Pick up the phone, text, and messaging as quick as possible. Get engagement. We really want speed, which is going to communicate interest. We really want deadlines and what to expect. Now, we're not ever hiring out of pain. We are not ever hiring out of urgency, but we're being incredibly methodical around this. And you can't hire slow. You can get rid of all these assessments that you sent before, these tricks that are built into all of these different ads or what have you. Spell the color purple backwards in the subject line with your, no, those are so incredibly outdated anymore. They're not working. What your interviewing process is going to look like, because it's the number one question we get to candidates. This is an in-person position. We're right in alignment with the salary or what have you. I'd love to get you on a Zoom interview next, and let's really get into your job description and motion, what that would look like. After that, I'm going to share a video with the attorney, and even if it's a team member doing this for you, and then the attorney will bring you in for an interview within 1 week. After that, be clear on what the next steps is. So take these outdated practice guides. People are not ghosting you. They're not playing the salary game. They are not playing the negotiation game, unless your salary is below average. So we'll talk about that on next week and really what it's going to take to staff that. I will tell law firms every single day, I would love to take your money. I really would love to take you on as a client, but I cannot find someone with that level of salary. It's not competitive. But here's what it's going to take for us at a starting salary, because people can't see this whole package. Well, with their benefits, with their PTO, with my unemployment insurance, what is costing me to buy them a computer? No, that's a cost of doing business. Those parts don't get put into the overall package. People first and foremost are looking at base salary, and some people will even make a lateral move, absolutely, and then looking at incentive comp and then benefits package after that. You're uncovering that before you get to offer letter. That was in the job ad. We talked about that in interview number 1. We're consistently reiterating everything along the way. They're not playing games. Sometimes they get confused or because they're talking to so many law firms. And yes, you do want to interview somebody who is talking to law firms. Your hope is that they're interviewing with many law firms. Your hope that a prospective client is meeting with many other law firms, because they are. It's your job, our job as business owners, is to make sure that their experience with us absolutely stands out and shines from their experience with the other firms. Even if your salary is a little bit below where they want to start, even if you're the most expensive law firm in town or in your industry, because they'll never, ever forget that experience. You're consistently painting the picture. You're painting the picture about leadership, about culture, about professionalism from every interaction. Process. Their process was so seamless. Their process was so amazing. From the first time I went into their firm, I knew exactly what to expect, who I was going to work with, what I was doing with the law firm. It's the same thing when it comes to hiring. People generally are not ghosting. And when they are ghosting, I always point the fingers back at myself to do an audit and figure out where we went wrong versus pointing fingers. So next week, I want to talk real quick about this here. You can book a call. You have the tool here. We'll put it in the chat for you. Book a call with us. I do want you to do the audit first. I want you to go through that and have some insight, have some clarity, have something for us to put our teeth into of where we can make the 2 millimeter shift, how we can structure KPIs for an ROI. If we tell you that it's going to cost you $25 an hour to get an intake person, you were hoping to pay $18. Just had that call with somebody today. And so we will be honest with you of what you need to do, but how to get an ROI on that. The difference between the $8 spread, the $8 gap of what your ads are posting here. I'm going to talk about the ads and what absolutely not to do in the ads and how you are weeding, really qualified candidates out. Okay, guys, I'll see you next week. Reach out, book your call. If there's anything that we can support you with here, we'll give you the tool. And I am so excited about this series. All right, go forth. Do your audit. Do your audit.
I'm so tired of micromanaging. How do I train, manage, and lead? I can't find time to be visionary. Head down in the weeds.